how should I say? It's like you really have a good feeling of the market, Paulie, and you always have, and that I appreciate from you. And I know that especially the active traders in the market are really going to flourish with your analysis. And so and I'm gonna ask you for a request on behalf of the traders out there. I sent you the bias chart.
Hmm.
Doing some sort of structured analysis every morning with the traders every day. I think they're going to really appreciate when you go through each and every major. I think that's going to help them out quite a bit. And I wanted to say, thank you for being a part of all of this, and thank you for all of your, for me, it's been years of support that you've been listening into the webinar. You've been, bantering with me on Twitter, um, and you've been a very much appreciated person on the team, and I know you will continue to be so even the days after I'm gone. So thank
Well,
you.
thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, we already talked about using the bias chart, and some people were even asking me about adding a couple extra markets like the gold, the S&Ps, and bonds on the bias chart. So we will
Yeah.
definitely be using the bias chart. And as I mentioned to people, if anyone has any recommendations, like Denise said, she goes, "How about adding the bonds and S&Ps and gold onto the bias chart?" Certainly, I'll look into that, and obviously, we're gonna be adding on. I'll not that I generally follow that, but I'll be following the cash dollar index closely, the Mexican peso closely, and obviously all the cross rates, and we'll be following the Nikkei and the Dow as well. To expand those markets that we're looking at. But
Good.
yeah, it's been great, and it's a huge loss to not have you here every day. And it's been, like I said yesterday, it's been awesome to be able to work with you, you know, day in and day out, and all the great support and all you've had, not only from all the listeners and all of us that have benefited from everything you've provided. So we look forward to. I mean, I can't be. We're disappointed, but at the same token, I can't be any more happier for your new opportunity. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy that's given more to the whole team and to all the listeners. And I can't tell you, as disappointed as I am, I'm even more happy because nobody could deserve it more. For that's done so much for everybody else. So for you to have the opportunity to go on to this bigger opportunity in your life, but also have more time for your own health, more time for your family. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. It shows that good guys sometimes do finish in first.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Paul. And I'll be here. I'll be on Twitter. I'll be active. I'll be around, and you know how to find me, and you have my number, and you can always reach out and call me. So thank you so much for everything.
Well,
Really
thanks,
appreciate it.
Mike. We look forward to stepping back and listening to you.
All right, thanks. Good morning, traders. This is Blake Morrow, and it's it's weird saying that this is my last Morning Edge webinar. I've been if you go back to the beginning when I started on a broadcast. The guy who started Wise Trade, George Thompson, it was just equities, and there was, the Wise Trade group maybe had, I don't know, maybe 1,000, you know, customer subscribers back in 2002, and this is before that. I sold myself and our partners sold our company to Wise Trade. But I joined the Wise Trade group just to, from a training aspect, just to teach traders how to trade. And George started this audio broadcast, and one night, and he started it like, maybe like 2 months before, and he had a little broadcast booth in his office, and one night he had stepped out and he had something to do, and he's like, hey, can you, step in and broadcast tonight, and talk about equities. This is in the evening, after people got off work here in the United States, and I broadcasted that night, and I remember being in his office and adjusting the mic, and it was just audio, and we went on for an hour. Supposed to go on for an hour. Went on for like 2 hours. Had so many questions about like all the telecom stocks that were getting killed at the time, like WorldCom, and and things like that. And and then after that, I became a regular fixture on his broadcast for like the next month, and um, maybe shortly thereafter, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 months after that, we started doing audio broadcasts for different markets as we expanded into the currency market, and that's about when I started really covering the currency markets, and that's when the Morning Edge was born, and it was born as an audio broadcast. And this is back in maybe 2000, late 2002, and about like literally 14 years ago. And that audio broadcast started with just me and Kip Cohen. I think maybe about maybe a few months later started handling an hour of the equity market broadcast, and it was just audio, and it was so funny. We had like a 15-minute lag, or 15-second lag. So, and I would say, okay, everybody pull up a 60-minute chart on the euro dollar. And when I was covering it, people would be like, wait, what are you talking about? Because there was that lag, it was we always called it the internet lag. It didn't matter where you were at. It was just, it's laggy. That audio broadcast eventually morphed after a couple years into a full-fledged studio where we had, and for those of you that have never seen it, we had a full-fledged studio. I don't get on a Facebook much, but there's a couple pictures that I've posted on there. I'll have to go over to my, I don't even know how to do this. Photos, here we go. So let me get over to my albums. You can't see it yet, but so it eventually turned into a full-fledged studio where we had hostess, or excuse me, hosts, analysts. It was like a little mini CNBC, and it was broadcasted in HD over the internet. We were on Dish Networks, and it was really neat. And this is you can see it. It's the Morning Edge, and that's when the Morning Edge. Whoops, it's Larry Miller. Um, and that's when the Morning Edge was really turned into a daily show, and that was maybe, I want to say, about 12 years ago, 12 or 11 years ago, and that's me maybe 9 years ago. And it has we had that studio for, I want to say we had that studio for about 5 or 6 years, and the costs were ridiculous. It was for a product that didn't or a venue that didn't generate any revenues whatsoever. After 5 or 6 years, we had eventually wind it down and turn it into, it was more of a broadcast without hosts, and then we eventually turned it into, once the webinar format was available. It And then once we started these webinars, this has probably been over the last, I want to say, since about 2009 or so. So for like the last 6 or 7 years since GoToWebinar was available, it's saved us a lot of money as a company, and we've gone to a webinar format, and it's been this way ever since. This is an end of an era for me, for broadcasting. I truly am not sure how I'm going to take, a couple weeks from now, after the holidays, after the new year, when I'm sitting in front of my computer and I'm not broadcasting in the morning, and you're not hearing my voice, and I'm not talking to you. I don't know how I'm going to take it, frankly. I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be kind of nice, did not having to do it, but at the same time, I'm gonna miss you all. I know that for many of you, for 10, 12, 14 years, some of you less, some of you, as much as, I've been a normal fixture in your life for so many years. And that I will always appreciate that you've allowed me into your life and you've allowed me to be such an integral part of your trading day. And I know I've said this to you many times, but I spend more time with you guys than sometimes I do my own family. And so with that, I consider many of you very good friends and in some ways my family as well. So this is going to be a very tough transition for me. I know it's going to be uh, tough for some of you. Some of you are going to be happy you don't have to hear me slurp coffee anymore, or cough or sneeze, or you know, be a jack off sometimes, or be grumpy, or hear my singing. Um, but I truly am going to miss each and every one of you. Your support over the years has been unparalleled. I'm so humbled, and um, I'm going to miss you. I really will. This next hour and a half, I'm not doing analysis. I mean, we could sit here and we could look at the markets, but frankly, you know, we're coming upon the Christmas holiday. Whatever you see here, you'll probably in about an hour from now, it'll be 10 pips in the other direction. We're not going to get a lot of movements today. I've actually tightened up my positions. I have an Aussie New Zealand long that I'm sitting in, and it's about a quarter size, and that's it. I just want to have a little bit of exposure going into next week, but my trading is for the most part done, and I'm finished until till the new year. And so I really wanted to focus this morning on some lessons, some life lessons that I've acquired over the years. A lot of them self-taught, a majority of them self-taught. When I started in this business, I had to sit behind a trader looking over his shoulder, a couple of traders actually in particular, looking over their shoulders, and there wasn't any training format. There was no education. It was, you know, sit back, don't ask a lot of questions, um, and do what I do what I tell you. Don't, and then you kind of had to read books and figure it out. The internet was very scarce at the time when I first started in this business. When I started trading, the internet was in its infancy. And there was just a couple hundred web pages out there, and you couldn't find any information online. So a lot of what I've learned over the years has been through books, through trial and error, through learning the school of hard knocks. So I'm I hope that what we cover today and some of the lessons that I give you, and I've written down a bunch of notes here, it's sitting on right in front of me, of things that I can cover today, that hopefully that will keep you safe in the markets, or as safe as can be. I will tell you that there's one thing that I can't do, and there's one thing I have no control over, and that's you. And I will tell you, you will be your own worst enemy in this market and in your career, okay? And I'll also tell you that learning charts, you can teach a monkey how to read a chart. That's why everybody focuses on charts, because it's easy. I can read a chart. You can read a chart. It's easy. But what you do with that information, that's the key. How you deal with risk management, that's the key. How you deal with the psychology behind the market, how you deal with your own self in the markets, that's the real key. Reading a chart, monkeys can read charts. Anybody can read a chart. That's the easy part. What's inside of you is everything. And I'll tell you, me, I'm I'm no brain surgeon. I'm no rocket scientist. I'm no Ivy League school graduate. Matter of fact, I left college in my third year to to explore the markets. I never graduated college. So frickin' what? So what? One of the best traders I know, really like legendary trader in this business. If I told you who he was, you would crap your pants. Didn't graduate college either. And I'm not saying that's the right uh, way. My kids are going to go to college, and my wife's got her master's degree. And so I'm not saying what I did is the right way, but I'm just saying it doesn't matter. You can do it. That's the point I'm trying to make. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can succeed in this market, you can too. But it's all in you. And each and every one of you can do it. Okay? Each and every one of you can. I'm confident about that. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to go grab some coffee. When I come back, we're going to go through our normal format. I'll stay with you for about 25, 30 minutes, give you a break, so on and so forth for the next hour and a half. I'm going to give you some lessons in trading life that I've acquired over the years. Hopefully, it'll all make sense to you, and you can incorporate it all into, or at least some of it, or maybe maybe it'll help you confirm what you've learned in years past, and hopefully you'll take these lessons with you for the rest of your lives. It's not a lesson that'll stay with you for the next day or two. It's lessons that'll stay with you for the rest of your life. So happy to talk with you about them, and I'm happy you all are here. I'm gonna leave some time for some comments and questions at the very end. I'm gonna apologize in advance if I can't get to them all. You guys have been so wonderful over the years, and like I said, I'm gonna miss each and every one of you. I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Thanks everybody for being here this morning, and TGIF once again. Be right back.